Buenos dias, dear viewers. Here we are. I'm at an Incan ruin, a little bit hungover, and I thought what better time to talk about my finances in Peru. So here we are, I'm going to go through it. I've been here for 6 weeks now, and I want to let you know how much it cost me and kind of what you can expect if you come to Peru. So as I said in my last extremely long video, it was like 9 minutes when I was in Ecuador, my budget for this trip is roughly $1,000 US a month. So I figured out that over 6 weeks here in Peru, I've kind of blown the budget. I've ended up spending 1,800 US. So kind of accepting those extra few weeks, my budget should have been 1,350 and I'm over by about 450 US dollars. So for those playing at home, that's 2,325 Australian dollars that I've gone through in about 6 weeks, from the north in Mancora to the south here in Cusco. So I've been all over, done a lot of stuff, but it really has hurt my wallet. I'm going to go through kind of what costs the most. So let's just start with the food. Let's start with the basics. If you're going to a market, if you're just going to eat cheap, it's going to be $1.50. Let's talk US dollars the whole time. $1.50 US. Going to a nice restaurant, maybe $5. So that can rack up every day. If you're thinking about it, I went out basically for lunch and dinner, $5 each time. It's going to be $10 a day, so it does add up. Similarly, hostels are about $10. That's a dorm bed, that's US dollars. So every day, if that's $10 on a dorm, $10 on food, you're already at 20 every day of your trip. Transport is next. So I went largely by bus. I did take one flight from Iquitos to Lima, but the rest was by bus. And these overnight buses can range in quality, but largely the prices are about 25 to 35 US dollars. So again, going from town to town, it adds up, which I've found out. But the biggest killer, the one for me, it's been the tours. So I've done plenty of tours, as is expected when you're going to Machu Picchu and the home of the Incas, but that's kind of what's killed me. The Salcante trek here in Cusco, which I did a previous video about, loved it, 175 US. I did a jungle trek in Iquitos, that was 3 days, that was 125 US. The Colca Canyon, 50 US. So every time you're doing these awesome activities, they do hurt your budget. So I guess my top tip is to watch what tours you're doing, but at the same time, kind of, when you're in Peru, these are the costs you do kind of have to take on the chin. You're not going to come to Cusco and not do Machu Picchu. Like, you're not going to go to the Amazon and just kind of sit in the hostel. So it's sad that it hurts my wallet, but that happens. Okay, so yeah, I've kind of hurt my budget, but going into Colombia, I'm going to see what I can do to kind of minimize those costs and really maybe lay low for a little bit. So just quickly, my hot takes on Peru. I'm going to make this video much shorter than the last, so let's just run through these little top tips. I think the best thing about Peru, it's got to be the landscape. So as I said, I went from the north in Mancora to the south here in Cusco, and you've got the Sierra Nevada, you've got the Andes, you've got the beaches, you've got the jungle, and in between it's just this changing landscape. It's just amazing. It's got every kind of landscape that you can want to visit, it has. So I personally just love that. I love the variety that you get here. The worst thing by far is the automatic teller machines, the ATMs, the cash points. They, excuse my French, are shit. Okay, so they have been the bane of my existence for a little bit. So they basically come with an 18 Soleil fee, or $6 US fee, for every time you withdraw. The withdrawal limit on some of these things is like 125 US. You can only get 125 out at one point. Furthermore, sometimes if you find a good cash point, like you can get 700 soles out at one hit, take the fee on the chin to get more out, you can only use it once a month. So you can only use that ATM and that bank once a month. So BCP is a classic case. I love it because you can get 700 out, but then you go to a next town, oh, BCP, sorry mate, you've used it once a month. You can't use our banking network until, next month. Ridiculous, hate it. I don't know, there must be a way around it. I haven't figured it out, but that would be my top tip as well. Figure out how to get around these stupid ATM fees, because it is the worst thing. I hate it. Enough said. And lastly, but not leastly, my top tip of all tips for Peru is just come. I mean, yes, it is expensive, it's hurt my budget, but this has been a real good backpacking country. The people are lovely, the food's incredible. As I said, the things you can see and do here, it's kind of unparalleled. I've never been to a country with this much variety, and it just packs so much into a great country. So love it, just watch your wallet.